Hey there, it's Seb Frey here with another exciting episode of It's a Seb Show. Well, here we are. It's my third episode having to do with the coronavirus. The first one was about how this is not a zombie apocalypse, and the second one was about how we've all been ordered to shelter in place. And since then, that was like a couple of days ago now, the situation has continued to evolve. You know, we're supposed to have the shelter in place thing lifted theoretically on April 7th, but I've been talking to a lot of people and they are saying, hey, you know what? It might not be 3 weeks like they're saying. It could be 3 months. Well, if it's 3 months, that begs the question, what is going to happen to the economy? Like, if we have this kind of contraction in economic activity for 3 solid months, I mean, not even just regionally, but like I expect they'll probably expand the shelter in place lockdowns to more and more parts of the country. What is that going to do to the economy? Are people going to be permanently driven out of work for the long term? And what's that going to do? Is that going to create a recession or perhaps even a depression? Wow, that's something to think about. And I will say this, that if there is another recession, especially a big one, or even a depression, guess what? Yes, that's going to have a very deleterious effect on home prices. I think you're going to see home prices drop through the floor if in fact large numbers of people are thrown out of work. That's going to be very, very bad for the real estate market. It remains to be seen if that's actually going to happen, right? The administration is doing a lot of financial stimulus. They're supposedly going to be sending direct cash payments to Americans, right? So they're doing a lot of stuff to make sure that doesn't happen. But it could happen. And so some people are wondering, well, even though the market is really not like a great time to sell your house necessarily right now, it's funny because a week ago it was a great time. And all of a sudden now it definitely seems like it's not a great time. But if in fact we're headed for like a calamity, are things going to be much worse like in 2 years than they are, say, 2 weeks from right now? So right now what's happening is that, lenders are loaning money, right? That's working, right? Appraisers are appraising property. Not all banks are sending out appraisers, but a lot of them are sending out appraisers still. Title and escrow companies are still doing their work. County governments are still recording new deeds, deeds of trust, right? Grant deeds, all that stuff. So all those mechanisms are still working. So you can sell a house right now, but the question is, should you sell a house right now if you've been planning on selling your house, say, this spring, this summer, or even this year? Is it better to sell now, even when things are tough, or is it better to wait, maybe? And the answer to that is, I really don't know because I don't have a crystal ball. I can't really tell you. But what I can tell you is what's going on right now. Right now, the recommendation is that there'll be no open houses whatsoever, no brokers open tour. And brokers open tour is basically a open house for real estate brokers. So, brokers open tours and open houses, those are, pretty integral parts of most marketing strategies for realtors around here, right? Like it's a really great idea to get a lot of buyers in your door as fast as possible. And I've always said the more buyers through your door, the more likely it is you will get multiple offers quickly and sell your property at or over asking price. So in an environment like this, where that's precluded, you're not going to have probably a lot of buyers through your doors in a short period of time. So what does that mean for your marketing strategy? To me, it means that you probably shouldn't price your property low and hope for getting multiple offers. You should price your property low if in fact you really need to get it sold quickly. But what I would probably recommend is that you price your property at fair market value, put it on at fair market value, at least what fair market value would have been like a week ago, and see if you get offers and see if you can't get it in a contract. Because while some people are freaked out about this and not making any long-term plans like buying real estate, a lot of other people, they're much more confident of where they are economically, and they still will be buying, right? So you need to talk to your real estate agent and figure out what marketing strategy makes sense for you. If this is a good time to sell, or maybe you want to roll the dice and see if it's a better time to sell, like in 2 or 3 months, whenever the shelter-in-place thing may have been lifted. They're doing some other interesting things, like the multiple listing service right now. They are no longer incrementing days on market, right? So if you have a listing that is withdrawn or even a new listing, they're not going to add days on market to your listing tally until they lift the shelter in place, because they're saying this isn't really a good marketing time. So you can have your property on the internet, everybody can see it. I mean, they'll still see the list date, right? They can figure it out, but the actual days on market is not going to be rising. Very interesting thing. So people are adapting to this new world that we're living in. But as of right now, everything is functioning. You still can sell your house. And the question is, should you sell your house? And you need to talk about that with your family and, of course, with your realtor to decide what makes the most sense for you and yours. And I hope, speaking of you and yours, I hope that you and yours are all doing very well. You know, there's a lot of people who think that the coronavirus is overblown, it's hysteria, it's hype, and it's, you know, like a media-generated frenzy. And, you know, that might be true to some extent, but the reality is that people are dying, you know. I mean, like thousands of people have already died, and, you know, a lot more people are probably going to die. I just watched that movie Contagion. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. I watched that movie Contagion. It came out like 10 years ago. Interesting movie. So, you know, in that you basically see it start slowly and then it really builds up. And the whole reason for the shelter in place thing basically is so that we don't overwhelm the medical system with all kinds of people who can't breathe, and we won't have ventilators and oxygen machines and the health workers. They just don't. We won't be enough health workers to, you know, take care of like several 100,000 people who are in need of hospitalization, and that's basically what this thing is all about. And hopefully we can flatten that curve and you know, get ahead of this thing before it really becomes a really sad and unfortunate situation for many people. So I hope all you and yours are doing well. Take the shelter in place seriously. Don't go out. I know it may seem like a little bit much, but we all have to do our part to hang together here and work as quickly as we possibly can to get past this. All right, do me a favor. Give me a like. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. Last video, I actually got 2 comments, which I'm really stoked on. So give me a comment. Give me a share. I would really appreciate it. And let everyone know what's going on with the real estate market in regards to this COVID-19 coronavirus thing. All right, that is it for this episode of It's a Seb Show. Thank you so much for watching, and I will have another episode up again before too long.